Hi, and welcome back to the next mat class in our TriCore series. Today we're going to start standing, we're going to work our way down to the floor, and then we'll finish back up on our feet, just kind of reconnecting with everything that we build on during the class and just finding our balance back to the beginning. So we're just going to start out with some really simple movements for the shoulders, for the wrist, for the arms. We're going to start by drawing the arms out to a T position. Lock those shoulders back, just saying gentle. So it's not something that we want to really jam the shoulders together. We just want to think about drawing the shoulders towards the spine and feel how as we connect with that upper back, it just gently lifts the sternum. As the sternum lifts, those collarbones are going to drop down and wide. Neck is lengthening up through the crown of the head, and we have this nice soft jaw. We're going to start with just some soft arm circles. So just reaching the arms up and back, stirring in that shoulder socket, lengthening out through the arms, reaching through those fingertips. We're going to go for 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and now we'll reverse that direction. So just going forward, 2, 3, 4, and we'll go for 4 more. Keeping that belly tight, connecting with the feet here as we hold, and then bring it into center. Now from there, we're going to take it into some wrist rolls. So we're going to do some stuff where we're supporting ourselves with our hands. So we just want to warm up the wrist. So we're going to make a little fist here, and then just roll the wrist up and back. Just kind of feeling that full range of motion, maybe feeling some push, some pull in the muscles of the forearm. Really paying attention to that full circular motion. Good. And now let's go the opposite direction. So just rolling those wrists around. Good. All right, so now from there, let's draw the arms down by your side. And just do a couple shoulder movements. So as we inhale, bring those shoulders up around your ears, and then as we exhale, feel them settle back. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, shoulders rise. Exhale, set them back. 1 more time. Inhale, shoulders rise. Exhale, set them back. I'm just going to turn the neck. So we're just kind of checking in with the body here. So now we're going to bring our attention to the lower body. Bringing my feet to our Pilates V Stance, which means heels together, toes apart. I'm going to find the zip through the inner thighs. I'm going to wiggle around here, feeling that sense of balance from right to left. Finding that weight back into the heels, feeling that sense of lift through the low belly, lift through the sternum, and again, that wide collarbone position. I'm going to reach up and place my hands behind my head, and it's just a gentle interlace of the fingers. Elbows are pressing out, and I almost want to feel as if I'm just gently drawing up on the back of the head to create this length in the back of my neck. Now from there, we're going to work on a little balance. So it's okay if you're wobbly at the beginning, I may be. We're just going to start by inhaling and rising up onto the toes. Exhale as we lower down. So now our goal here is to shift the body weight as little as possible. Really think about this, like lift through the crown of the head, trying not to rock forward and back as we come up. Feel the lift from the inner arches of the feet, inner thighs, deep belly, crown of the head is reaching up. And we want to keep that lift in length even as the heels come back down. Let's go for 2 more here. Last one, lift and lower. So you'll notice my heels are coming apart. I'm going to try to adjust that just a little bit, which means I'm going to kind of shorten my range of motion. I'm going to release the hands down, and we're going to go into some high heel plie squats. So I'm going to rise up onto my toes and maybe walk those heels a little closer together. So I want to find a spot where I can keep that connection. That connection is going to help with my balance. The more my heels press into each other, the more support I have through my center. And now we're going to take it into a little plie squat. So as I inhale, I'm going to bend the knees lower down. I want to feel my tailbone drawing down, low belly lifting up, crown of the head is still reaching, and rise. Inhale, lower. Belly scoops. Exhale up. Keep those heels connected. We're going to go for 8 here. And lift. Range of motion is really up to you. We don't want to take it too low where we start to feel like you have to lean forward. It's about keeping those connections. How are we lowering down while still creating lift in the body? Last 2. Last 1. Rise up. Heels lower. Beautiful. Shake it out. just getting the whole body moving, getting everything warmed up here. So now we're going to take it into some roll downs. We're going to do high heel roll downs. Again, challenging the balance a little bit. If you wobble, if you fall, that's okay. Just get back up and get restarted. So we're going to rise up onto the toes, heels lift, fingertips reach to the ceiling. Keep those heels lifted as we draw the belly back, slowly start to curl down, rolling into that forward fold, keeping those heels up as we come down until you can anchor those hands on the floor. Now from there, I'm going to drop my heels, look at my toes, heels lift back up, scoop that low belly, try to keep that heel lift even if it's just a little as we slowly, lost it, roll back up and then reach overhead. Don't worry, if you didn't get it that time, we've got 2 more attempts here. So heels high, reach, exhale, fold forward, rolling down. If you can't get to the floor, you can find a block or something for your hands to land on. Let the back of the neck relax, let that head hang. Heels drop, heels lift. So here's the challenge. Find that lift through the inner thighs, through the low belly, and slowly try to start to stack up 1 vertebrae at a time, keeping those heels lifted as high as you can, and reach. Bring it down. My calves are on fire. So you can see I'm really wobbly here, something maybe I want to practice a little bit more. All right, we've got 1 more here. Arms reach up, heels lift. There you go. Find that balance, find that center. Draw the belly in. Exhale, slowly start to fold. Rolling down. And bring your hands to the floor. Head drops. Let those heels lower. Shift that body weight back. See if I'm any more successful on this 3rd one. Heels up. Find that squeeze through the inner thighs, that lift through the low belly. As we slowly rise, lift, lift, reach overhead, and lower down. I feel like that was a little better. Still a little tough. Feeling those quads, or feeling those calves really warm there. So something to just play with is getting that lift and lower, working on your balance, shifting to 1 leg. So just something to think about, something to play with. So we're going to take it down onto the floor, bringing our attention to our upper body. From here, we're going to take it in to a tabletop position. So I'm going to face the side so you can kind of see where I'm going with my shoulders here. So the first thing we're going to do is just play with a little spiral of the arms. So you'll notice as I come down, elbows are out to the side. So what I want to feel is my elbows rotate towards my body so that the fold of my arms is facing forward, and I'm creating this wrap. And notice how as you rotate, I'm connecting into those triceps, connecting into my lats, drawing the shoulders away from the ears and keeping that length through the back of my neck. So it's this connection all the way down from the fingertips up through the elbows, up through the shoulders, and now I'm really stabilized through those shoulders and through the core. So we're going to inhale, let the elbows soften and turn out. Exhale, gently press down into the ground to create that wrap, create that connection. Inhale, release it. Exhale, connect it in. So it's just finding how do my hands connect to my back via my arms, getting everything to work together and communicate, drawing that belly in and up, feeling that sense of length through the tip of the tailbone. And now we're going to keep that wrap of the arms, keep the elbows pointing forward, those shoulders are connected, and now I'm going to take my movement into a little shoulder shrug. So what I'm going to think here is I'm going to let myself sink into my shoulders. So notice my chest drops down, really just kind of letting that weight jam into the shoulder. And then as I exhale, I'm pushing the ground away to lift out of it and then back down. Keep that gaze forward. Keep the head in line with the spine as we lower and lift. Lower. Lift. Good. We're going to do that 3 more times. Last one. and lift. So now I'm pressing the ground away. I'm keeping that spiral of my arms. Shoulders are down and back. And now we're going to take it into some shoulder rolls. So I'm going to combine that little bit of sinking into my shoulders. I'm going to let them rise up and then circle down and back. So I'm lifting and circling, creating kind of this rounding motion in my shoulders, just kind of circling around that entire shoulder girdle. 2, 1, and now let's go the other way. So it doesn't look like a lot, but there's a lot happening in those shoulders. Really releasing all of the muscles that connect up into the neck and down into the back. And now we hold. All right, so now from there, the shoulders are feeling nice and warm. That thoracic spine is starting to release. We're going to take it into some rotation. So from there, I'm going to stabilize with my right side. Taking that left hand behind my head, I'm just going to start by drawing my left elbow down towards the right. And then as I inhale, I'm going to open up, rotating and looking through my hair to the ceiling. And lower. And open. So my goal here is to try to keep that sense of length out through the tip of the tailbone. The weight stays balanced on my heels. My hips stay steady as I spiral open. Let's go for 2 more here. Last one. And then as I come back to center, I'm going to release that hand down. And let's just plant back into that left hand, connecting with that spiral, anchoring that shoulder down. This work is really good for me. I tend to really want to just hyperextend my elbows. So I really like to pay attention to where is my elbow in position to my shoulder, and how am I keeping that elbow softened and active versus locking it out. So think about kind of like when you were a kid, did you ever go behind and kick somebody with their just like tap their knee when it's locked out? There's no support there. So if you have that elbow locked out and I have any tension coming from this direction, it's just going to collapse. So I really want to think about, how do I keep that elbow soft? How do I stay engaged through the muscles and not just dump all of my weight into that elbow joint? A little side note there. Okay, so from here, hands behind the head on the right side. Find that length from the tip of the tailbone out through the crown of the head. We're going to draw that right elbow down and reach towards the left. And then we're opening, reaching towards the ceiling, opening up. Now everybody's going to look a little different here. If you tend to stay kind of tight in that thoracic spine, that elbow lift is going to be limited. 2. I want you to think about connecting with the back. Can you draw the shoulder blades towards each other as that elbow lifts? Last 2. Last 1. Bring it down. Open up. And then back to center. All right, let's anchor those hands back down. Now kind of the ultimate shoulder stabilization exercise is just a plank. So we think about planks being for our core, but it's really a lot of shoulder stabilization, a lot of shoulder control. So you want to check in, find that pressure down through all of your fingertips. Find the weight even on both hands. Find that spiral of the arms locking into the shoulders. Crown of the head is lengthened out, and I'm just going to step back and find this plank position. And we're just going to hold it for 3 nice deep breaths. And what I want you to pay attention to as we hold is that down the back, up the front. The length of my neck is reaching forward, but then my shoulder blades are coming down the back. My tailbone is reaching towards my heels, and my heels are flexing towards the back wall to create this sense of lift from the inner arches of my feet, up through the inner thighs, up through the low belly. My collarbones are wide and my head is lengthening out, creating this balance of support as I hold. Let's hold it for 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Press back into a child's pose. Let those knees open a little bit wider. Let that forehead come down to the mat. Whew. There's a lot of work on the shoulders there. Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna rise back up. We're gonna cross the ankles and then sit back towards the heels and extend the legs out in front of you. So I'm gonna recenter here on the mat. So we go into some abdominal work. So we're gonna do some roll downs. We're gonna do a little bit of balance work here. So we're starting with our knees bent, feet are flat. Feet should be about a hip distance apart. And this is an exercise to warm up the lower back. So we're doing a little bit of rocking through the lumbar spine, activating the abdominals. But another thing we want to think about here, and it's something we don't think about often as we do our roll downs, is how are we yielding into gravity to keep our feet heavy, to keep our legs heavy. So my goal is to think heavy down through the heels. It's still that sense of down the back of the body to support that lift and control through the front of the body. So as we set up here, I'm going to use my hands for a little support. Like I said, this is really just a warm up. I want to sit up nice and tall. Draw those elbows down and back, so that same feeling of connecting with the shoulders. Eyes are forward, deep breath in. And then as I exhale, I'm going to take that gaze towards my thighs. Let my arms just kind of elongate as I come back into that C curve. And then as I inhale, I'm drawing up. As I exhale, I'm anchoring through the heels. That heel to sit bone connection is what's bringing my pelvis into that C curve. It's allowing my tailbone to release and reach towards my heels as my belly draws back, finding that C curve of the spine. Beautiful. We're going to do that 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen up. Last 2. Take that gaze back to the belly as you C curve. Eyes lift with the rest of the body. Last 1. And then we're just going to slowly lower back down onto the mat and just relax there. So we're just going to let the legs relax and get heavy. Just kind of shake the tension out of them. And then from there, we're going to go into a little dead bug progression. So we're drawing the knees into tabletop position, floating them right above the hips. And then from there, I'm going to grab the front of my knees. And as I hold on to the front of my knees, I'm going to press my knees into my hands to lift my head, neck, and shoulders off the table. Now from there, we're going to do a little cross body progression. So I'm going to extend my left arm overhead. My right hand is going to come over to my left knee, and they're pressing into each other, which means my knee is pressing forward, my hand is pressing down, my right heel is going to reach. And we're just going to hold that for 3, 2, 1, back to center, lay it down. Good. Press the knees into the hands to curl up. We're going to start by releasing that right hand up. Left hand comes to the front of the right knee. The knee and the hand are pressing into each other as my left heel reaches, and hold for 3, 2, 1, back to center. Relax, good. So we're going to take it a little bit quicker here. Curl it up. Left arm reaches. Right hand goes to that left knee. Right arm releases out. 3, 2, 1. Back to center. And press. Left hand, right knee. Right arm is out. Left heel reaches. 3, 2, 1. And center. Beautiful. We've got 1 more on each side. Exhale and curl. Left arm reaches. Right hand crosses the body. Hand and knee press into each other as my right heel reaches. 3, 2, 1. And switch 1 last time. Reach, reach. Pressing the hand and the knee into each other. Last hold for 3, 2, 1. And release. Whew. Doesn't look like much, but your abs should be nice and warm here. All right, so from there, we're gonna extend the legs out, and again, just shake all of that tension out of it. And we're gonna work on our 100 setup. We're not gonna do a full 100 set, we're just gonna work on how do we build it? How do we create that sense of scoop through the front of the belly, the reach out of the body, and lifting into our C curve without holding too much tension in the head, neck, and shoulders. So we're slowly gonna start to bring the arms forward. Once my arms start to pass my shoulders, I'm gonna start to take my gaze up. I'm gonna float my legs up in line to my gaze, and then my arms are gonna flip down. Now as I hold there, I wanna feel this sense of lift through the inner arches, this reach down through the fingertips, width across the shoulders, and we're just gonna do 3 full breaths. We're going in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more time. And release. So just kind of playing with how do we release the neck, how do we find that sense of reach down the back of the body as we hold there. All right, so we're gonna extend our legs out. Again, shake the tension out of the legs. Reach the arms up overhead as we set up for our roll-ups. Now this time, my goal is to keep the legs just gently relaxing into the ground as I use my upper body to lift. So same as before, the arms come up, head follows, that head, neck, and shoulders. And now as I exhale, I'm gonna come up and dive towards my toes. Inhale there, and then as I exhale, I wanna think about releasing out through my heels, out through my tailbone as I curl back. Arms reach overhead. Good, we're gonna do that 4 more times. Arms forward, head follows. Exhale, curl up and over. Inhale there. Exhale, release down through the back of the body as we roll down and reach overhead. Last 3, arms forward, head follows. Good. We're working hard to keep those quads out of it. Those quads tend to want to dominate this movement, so we've got to really think, how do I release those thighs? Use the breath for power instead of using the quads for power. Beautiful, this is our last one. Arms come forward, head, neck, and shoulders follow. Exhale. All the way over. Inhale there, and then slowly roll it all the way back. Beautiful. Now from here, the arms are going to relax down by your side. We're going to start with just a single leg lower lift. So my left heel is anchoring down, right toes are pointed. As I inhale, the leg rises. Exhale, flex, tap the heel. Good. 3 more. 3, 2, last one. And then that leg is going to lift and hold. The toes are pointed, and I want to feel the weight stay as even across the hips as possible as I pull my leg across the body. So that's my inhale. Exhale, that right leg circles around and up. Inhale across the body. Exhale. 3 and 4. And then we're going to meet at the top. Now I'm going to take the leg over to the right, bring it down, across and up. Over, around and up. 2. Try not to kick the wall. 3. And last one here is 4. Beautiful. Bring that knee in, draw it into the chest, and then we're going to extend that leg back out, switch to the opposite side. So we're going to start here with the toes pointed on that left foot as the leg draws up. Flex, the heel presses down. Lift, lower, lift, lower. Last 2. Last 1, that leg stays lifted. Inhale, draw it across the body. Exhale, circle around and up. Last one is 4. Bring it up and then reverse. Out, down, around, and lift. Out, down, around, and lift. 2 more. Out, down, around, and lift. Last one. And lift. Beautiful. Bring that knee in. Give it a little hug. Shake it out. All right. So now we're going to set up for our rolling like a ball. So we're going to do a couple little progressions here. The first one, we're going to reach the arms overhead. Almost like our 100 setup, we're going to bring the arms forward. Head, neck, and shoulders start to peel up as those legs float. And then we're going to bend the knees, tuck into that C curve. So holding that hollow hold, that rolling like a ball position. We're going to come out of it just the same way we went in. Arms and legs release, reach, as we lower all the way back down. Beautiful. We're going to do that 4 more times. Arms come forward, head, neck, and shoulders peel up, legs float, knees bend. As we find that little ball of tension, release, lengthen down. And so when I say tension, I tend to think of tension as being a bad word. And I will talk to you about that just a little bit here. Hold. So the difference between clenching and holding tight tension versus what I mean by tension is how are we creating this line of energy? How is the body communicating as a whole to create this sense of connection all the way through the body? So I can very easily crunch here. This is tension. I'm just pulling my knees into my chest and I'm just kind of grabbing everything. So when I say tension, I want you to think knees are pressing into the hands are pulling back in opposition. I'm locking my shoulders and arms back, my belly is nice and tight, and now everything is communicating, everything is supporting each other. So I've got this nice, beautiful balance of tension. Arms reach, roll it back, arms overhead. We've got 2 more of these. Arms forward, head, neck, and shoulders lift, legs float, draw it up. Find that C curve, release, reach, and lengthen all the way out. All right, so our next one, we're going to take it into our full rolling like a ball. Arms come up, head, neck, and shoulders lift, legs float, draw those knees in. Find that body of tension in here. If you don't have that balance of tension, rolling like a ball is not going to work. You're going to collapse onto your floor, and then you're going to have to use your feet to flop yourself back up. So what we want to think about is how do we create that energy so that as we rock back, we find just that little lift. Inhale back. 2. Keep that gaze down at your belly. Last one like this. Good. All right, we're going to add a little teaser reach on these next 4. Rock it back. Lift. Now pause. Reach it out. Knees come in. Rock it back. Lift. Reach. In. 2 more. Rock it back. Reach. And lower. Last one. Reach. And release. Beautiful. All right. Come forward, kind of stretch that out just a little bit. We are going to take it into an open leg rocker. So if you haven't done open leg rocker before, it is a very challenging exercise. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the harder Pilates exercises, one of the harder mat Pilates exercises, I should say. So we're going to do a little prep work. We're going to work on balance. And if it's something that just takes some time, so don't beat yourself up if you can't get it. I may not even get it this time around, so we'll see. But we're working on, again, that balance of tension, getting the body to communicate as a whole to keep the body moving. So we're going to start with a little stretch. Right leg extends and bends. So I like to grab onto the front of the ankle and then use that relationship between my arms, my shoulders, my back to just help extend the leg. So notice as my leg extends, I'm not sinking back. I'm actually trying to get a little bit more lift. And I reach and bend, reach and bend. Let's go 1 more to each side. Reach you're feeling successful there, we're gonna work on that double leg reach. So again, I wanna connect with my upper back, draw my belly in, both legs, reach, and bend. Reach, and bend. Good, we're gonna do that 3 more times. Reach, bend. So I wanna think of using the engagement of my quads to help extend those thighs. Last one, reach. And I'm gonna just shift my grip just a little bit. Shoulders are locked in place. Here we go, we're gonna try for 6. Inhale, rock it back. Exhale, woo, got it. Inhale, rock. Woo, almost got it there, 2. There we go, find that back as you lift. 3, 4, we've got 2 more. Last one. As we come up, we're gonna hold it, find that balance. Give me 3, 2, 1, and release. Beautiful. Whew. That was a good one. All right. From there, we're gonna bring our knees into tabletop position. We're gonna take it into another little belly series because, you know, we love core work. So knees are bent, arms are reaching forward. We're just gonna take it into a gentle little roll down. And then as I roll down, I'm gonna bring my knees into my chest. So remember that same relationship of tension that we created for our rolling like a ball is the same thing that's gonna work here during this abdominal series. So I'm gonna grab onto the front of my knees, I'm gonna press my knees into my hands and use that to help curl me up into my C curve. Now as I hold here, we're gonna go single leg stretch. So we're gonna talk through the first one. I'm gonna reach out with my left heel. I'm gonna grab onto the front of my right knee, or right leg. That knee is pressing into my hands to help me lift into that C curve and keep it out of my neck. So I'm not pushing forward with my chin, I'm using that relationship between my thigh and my upper body to lift. And then we'll switch. I'm equally pressing out with that straight leg heel as much as I'm pressing into that bent thigh to keep the weight balanced on my hips, to keep that belly connection. One more on each side. And then back to center. We're gonna stay in that C curve. Now I'm holding on to both knees this time. We're gonna take it into a double leg stretch. Inhale, reach, arms and legs out. Exhale, the arms circle. Find that C curve. Reach. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. All right, now from here I'm going to switch my hands to behind my thighs. Do a little warm up here, pointing the toes, extending the legs, and bend. 2, keep that gaze right between the knees. On that last one, we're gonna hold here. I'm gonna reach up and grab to the outside of my right calf. Left leg is gonna drop. We're gonna do a little pulse here. 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2. Beautiful, guys. Almost done. 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2, legs up. Hands behind your head. Interlace those fingers. Let the weight of your head just rest back into your hands. And then from there, we're going to do a little crisscross with straight legs. And center. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. We've got one more on each side. And rest. Good job. Those abs should be nice and warm. We're going to rock on up to a seated position. And now from there, we're going to transition back to that tabletop position. So ankles are crossed. Bring your hands to the floor. Pop up into all fours again. And we're just going to bring it back to some of the familiar movements that we did. So we're in that quadruped where we're locking those shoulders back, and then we just want to start with those shrugs again. We're going to sink into the shoulders. And now this time we're going to add a little bit of spinal flexion to our press. So as I push the ground away, I'm going to take it past neutral, and this time I want to soften my chin towards my chest and round the upper back. So just exaggerating that range of motion. I'm going to sink, let my tailbone extend back just a little bit, and then exhale. Inhale, sink. Good, last two. Inhale, sink. Last one, inhale, sink. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and sit back towards your heels. Good. All right. So now we're going to float back up. This time we're going to take our attention to our lower body. So elbows are tucked in. We've got those shoulders in place. We're going to hover the knees off of the ground. Find that length down through the tip of the tailbone. Belly's nice and tight. Shoulders are steady. And then we're going to do a little heel reach. Bring it back in. Knees hover. Find your center. Opposite leg reaches. And in. We're just doing a total of 6 here. Reach. Keep those hips squared. Keep the weight balanced in both hands. One more on each side. Last one. Bring it in. Let those knees drop. Sit back into that child's pose one more time. And then come on up. All right, so we're going to come up to a standing position. We'll just stand up, no fancy work there. And as we come into that standing position, we're going to finish off with a little bit of standing balance work, and then we'll go into just our pull down here. So we're going to start with some kicks. So when I say kicks, not like we're going to kick into anything, but really focusing on just balance, stabilization. How can we move the one leg while focusing on controlling that standing leg? And our standing leg is going to be the one that really is doing most of the work. So I'm going to drop my hands down by my side. I'm just going to point that right foot forward. So already starting to shift my weight into that left leg, focusing on how do I lift from the inner arch of my left foot, inner thigh, deep belly, chest is up. And as I inhale, my arms are going to raise with that right leg. Exhale and tap. You'll notice I have a slight external rotation on that thigh as I lift and lower. We want a little pause there. We're going to lift and lower. One more time. Lift and lower. All right, so now from there, I'm going to take that foot, sweep it out to the side. Now this time, we're going to do the same thing, just lifting the leg out to the side. So now my body weight's going to want to shift over to the left, so this is going to be the challenge. Now I'm going to take my arms out to the side as that leg lifts and lowers. So I definitely feel a little bit of a shift to the left, but we want to keep that as little as possible. Last one, lift and lower. All right, so then I'm going to take that leg, sweep it back. Hands come onto the hips. Now on this one, I want to square up my hips and soften that front knee, just so that I'm not hyperextending that knee. That's going to allow me to hinge my body forward just a little bit. I'm going to turn to the side as we hold this one. So what we want to feel is that as I reach that foot back and I hinge from that back foot to the crown of my head, I've got a nice straight line. And then I'm just going to do a little kick back. 1, and lift. 2, lift. 3, and last one is 4. We'll rise up and step forward. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to stay facing the side. And we're going to start by shifting into that right foot, left foot comes forward, and just find that sense of lift through that right side. So even though my legs are in two different planes, I want to think of how am I connecting through my hips? Tailbone is lengthening down. I feel this sense of lift through my low belly. Arms are coming down by my side. We want to keep that body steady as we lift and tap. So have a little shift there. Lift and tap. Beautiful. We've got two more here. Last one. And as we come down, slide that foot out to the left. This time the arms are going to float to the side and lower. A little close to the wall here with that right arm, so I'm going to keep it down. Last two. Last one. And then as that leg sweeps back, I'm hinging forward, squaring up those hips. Take that gaze just down in front of that right foot. Find that length from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head on the left leg. And then as we inhale, we lift and tap. Lift and tap. Two more. Tap. Last one. Tap. And float it back up. All right. So let's come back to center. We're just going to check back in right where we started. Here we are, full circle. Feet are a hip distance apart. I want to check in with those feet, feeling our weight from right to left, balanced. And then I want to wiggle my toes around and feel the anchor from the ball of my big toe, ball of my little toe, back into my heel. So we've got this nice tripod of support through my feet. I'm going to shift forward into my toes just a little, and then back into my heels just a little. It's a very subtle movement. Doesn't have to be a big sway. And I'm going to find this spot where, as I shift back, I feel the lift of my toes, the lift of my inner thighs, the lift of my low belly, and that's where I want to stay. I'm going to take my arms, reach overhead, interlace those fingers, flip the palms to the ceiling, lift your chest, and then just gently press your pubic bone forward as we take it into a little back bend. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to center. Bring the arms down, shoulder rolls up and back. Beautiful. And that is it for our mat work today. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again soon.